Hello, and welcome to the Back to Life Chiropractic uh, 5 Minutes to Health workshop series. We are talking about stress and anxiety, and we've been going through the stress cycle, the effects on the body, and now we're kind of going more how you diagnose it, diagnosis, what stage of stress and anxiety you're in, and what organ systems are being affected, and how your nervous system is being affected. So let's set our timer for 5 minutes because this is the 5 minute series. So let's get this going. 5 minutes. We're going to share this. Boom, 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 boom. So, last time we were talking about the thermograph, the skin temperature and autonomic nervous system. But one of the tests that we do at our office is the thermograph, which is this piece of equipment here. And it reads skin temperature, but skin temperature is affected by your autonomic nervous system, so you can get a picture of your organ systems. So an example here, you're seeing S1 and C1 and C2. So that's, a lot of this is your parasympathetic nervous system. That's sinuses. Here, stomach, adrenals, and intestines. But, as we went through the stress cycle before, we know that like when you have a stress response, your body has a stress response of flight and fight. And one of the first things it's going to do is turn on the sympathetics and get everything going. So everything's, is getting revved up to get yourself out of a stressful situation. But over time, then these organ systems are going to burn out. You're going to have problems. That's where you get the diabetes and the visceral adipose tissue. And then your parasympathetics over time have to really work hard to balance your sympathetics out to try to control this. And so eventually these two organ systems get out and they're working really hard. So then you get tired and sluggish, mental conditions, migraine headaches, you'll get poor circulation. All these things will happen when you start to get the interference. And we talked about the subluxation and when you have stress to your nervous system causes you to be subluxated, which is a misalignment of your spine, which causes nerve interference and muscle spasms and pain and inflammation. And so, over time, then these areas will become subluxated. And especially where you see the counter rotations here, like over time, you'll see where you're counter rotated, you'll be subluxated. So here in your upper neck, which would be headaches, mental conditions. And then this is your upper back, where you cause you a lot of shoulder problems and back problems. You're seeing that a lot nowadays, up through here in mid back. So, but thermographs are one of the tests that we use to see, where you are through stress cycle. The EMG, surface EMG, actually reads the electrical output of your spinal muscles. And so your spinal muscles are affected by, the nerves coming out of them, getting caught up in a central excitatory state of pain, spasm, pain cycle. So like here, blacks and reds are the worst, whites are normal. So this particular scan, C1 is really bad, blacks and reds, and then the whole neck, upper back. But we know like this area here is getting totally, there's a lot of nerve interference, subluxations, the muscles are working really hard. So we know that's probably an area where you're subluxated, and that's another area where the parasympathetics come out. But that's another test that we can do is reading the muscle tone or like electricity that's coming from your spine, from your brain, spine, out to all the muscles. And then these, those continue on to nerves, to the organ systems, because everything's connected. So EMG, spinal muscle tone, is one of the tests. This is these little guys here. You just put two on the sides of your neck and go down, and it reads the balance of it and how much it is. So the next test from the inside subluxation station is this one here. It's called the pulse wave profile, but it's actually looking at your autonomic nervous system balance, parasympathetic to sympathetic. And so it actually reads the inner pulses. So your pulse might be like 60 to 70 beats per minute, but it actually reads how off that is a little bit. If you're a little bit off in each pulse, then that shows that you're more adaptable to stress than if it's the same. And so that's a test your middle finger's in there and the other two fingers are there. So it's actually reading the pulse, inner pulses, and that's the autonomic, that's the pulse wave profile. But it's a nice way to see if you're more sympathetic or parasympathetic. So at certain stages of stress, you might be more sympathetic or parasympathetic. So how you treat all that actually matters, because sometimes when you treat people when they're actually in a very where everything's very sympathetic and the parasympathetics are overwhelmed, then sometimes adjusting people in certain areas just makes them very sore and painful, and you just need to adjust the two vertebrae. And then there's other cases where you need to adjust certain areas in order to get that going. So that's a lot of Gonstead information, technique. So a little SOT stuff going on there. So those are the main things with the insight, the neurospinal functional index report, or some people call it the insight subluxation station. But these are some of the tests I think that are done a lot of times to explain what's going on. When you go to the chiropractor, a lot of times I don't think they explain it well to figure out your stress and anxiety, what's going on with your organ systems and how it's affected and how that goes in with that. So, but it's one of the better ways to figure out where you are in the stress cycle, how your body is reacting to it, and then then you get to come up with a treatment plan, of being adjusted within certain areas, how you're going to do viscerosomatic reflexes, and then also what lifestyle changes you're going to do, and maybe you might concentrate on some more or some less. It's just a nice way to look at that. So the test show range of motion, EMG, thermal, pulse wave profiling, gives you a health score. So it's just nice, simple way to see where you are, and you can start working on that. So we'll talk about that next time. We'll talk about the lifestyle changes, not just the subluxations. And we'll go over that next time.